Hi, this is Bob McCorkle with Mexico Outreach. I am explaining today how to fill out the 2016 roster. It's a new roster created in Acrobat, PDF file, and you can submit this, attach it to an email directly, or hit use the submit button, and we'll explain more about that. Let me just get right into it and start with you're going to be required to put in the organizational name, either a church or school group. I put in Rose Dry Friends as an example, and city I put Yorba Linda. The event start date. Now this is important, and what you're going to see first when you open up the file is the word choose. It's going to say choose, and you click on this triangle right here, and it drops down all our trips for the year in 2016 all the way to Thanksgiving. And March 19th is our Easter one, traditional Easter one, ending on Good Friday, the 25th. And I'm going to use that one as an example. The reason why that's significant, it's affecting how the birth date and that date, the first day, March 19th, calculates the age at the day you cross the border. So this age will tell you who will be a minor on the start date of the trip, which is important because if they are still under 18, let's say they're 17 when they cross the border, they need to fill out a consent to travel for minors form. Anyone that's under 18 as of the day they travel into the country. So this will calculate that for you, and so that's why that's significant. And let's go on. Any box in red is required, and it'll change eventually to a red box, and you won't be able to save this file until all red boxes are filled out. Well, once you put in a first name, it's going to require these first fields all the way to email, and you'll see how on number 3, line 3, I didn't put in a first name, and it's not requiring these technically. If you're still collecting data, I built this in so you don't get upset with me going, how do I want to be able to start recording and storing and use this to gather information. How do I do that until I get their birth date and email? Well, rather than you put in dummy text or spaces, um, if you don't put in the first name, it'll still be unrequired. Once you put in that first name, and you say John, for example, and you click out and back in, it'll change to red, and the file will be required. So, um, but as long as that is not the case, and it'll change, it'll be like that. Okay, so enough about that. First name, middle name, last name have to match the passport as well as the birthday. Please enter in, it will require a 4-digit year like it shows here, 1998. My birthday is 1964. And citizenship, you want to put in the citizenship. That's pretty self-explanatory, whatever country it is. Email, this needs to be the email that represents that person, not the youth pastor, not the church. It needs to be an email either representing the person or their family. So if mom and dad don't like giving out an email to their 13-year-old daughter, they can, as long as the email can contact that family or that person, that's what we're asking for. Um, Now leadership, this column, there's another arrow here. This is not required. It can be blank. But if you click on this triangle, it's going to show pastor, admin, leader. These 3 titles we would like you to place on the people who have standing or can make decisions for the group. And obviously that could become a legal decision representing that organization. So we want to know who can make decisions on behalf of the group, not just the youth pastor, not just the principal or a teacher who's bringing a group from a school. If there's other people on that team that can actually make the decision as well, we need to know who they are for obvious reasons. If there is any kind of emergency, it just helps us be more efficient to know who we're contacting. And this field, you can also put in anything else. So let's say you go, well, I want to title my adults, but they're not legally representing our group. But like a father and a mom come down to be team co-leaders or whatever, adult leader, adult leads or whatever, or maybe you want to put in a driver, I don't know, or maybe you want to put driver over here in the notes. It's up to you, but you can use this column for other titles. But those three these are reserved for us. If you would please, honor that would be great. It just allows us to know who's who. Now, all right, so I get my information in. This one's not quite done. And any record that's not complete, we're going to contact you and say this one's not complete. You need to give us the rest of the information. It obviously would be better not to even probably put that there, but if you save this file and hit submit, what'll happen is you click on the submit button, and then your email, it's going to want whatever your default email is, and it's going to pop up moreg@apu.edu. It's going to go to that email. It'll attach your roster that you just saved. It'll put in the subject for you with your church name or organization, like school name and city, and from you. In this case, it's coming from me. Now, I also on the CC have my name because I get a backup copy to be able to make sure the system is working correctly. And then you can email us that way, or you can just save the file and attach it in your email program manually like you normally would. But this actually will populate your subject and put in the emails for you. Now, this last column here, you can put in allergies, translator, any other information you want to track, and then these over here are for office use. These two columns and the age, obviously I already talked about. Well, now you've submitted it, send it via email, and then you want to make changes. And this add drop column I've saved for last, we have this new feature where you can submit the roster again with changes rather than what we did last year with a manual piece of paper you'd fill out and then send, or fax. Well, now you can do it in the roster and send it again. And what we would do is you'd say, well, I shouldn't have put James Jordan in there. He changed his mind anyway. I'm going to drop him. And you change it to drop, and then you can submit this again. You save it and send it to us again, and we'll make all the changes based on this column in our system. Or you can add a name. So once you've submitted, you want to add more names, you can say, oh, I just added these guys, and you can enter their information here. And or if you've edited a record, let's say I made a mistake on Sally's, and you want to tell us where we edited it, you can type in the word edit or something that tells us you made a change here, and we can correct that on our list. Now, there are enough names in here to go up to 70. If you need more than 70, then what you do is you copy this file and make another name, another file, and you use 2 of them to add up to whatever total you need. So some of you have over 100 people, and so you would need to duplicate the file and send 2 copies, 2 pages in a sense. So I hope that answers all your questions. Feel free to contact us if there's any question about the new form.